Hello, this is Ginny Brant with Unleash Your God-Given Healing. We're going to look today at an important question. Can we make America healthy again? We live in a country that is the envy of the world, but we also live in a country with the highest rates of cancer, heart disease, dementia, obesity, and over 100 autoimmune diseases. But how can this be that the greatest country in the world, with the abundance of resources, money, and medical technology and treatments, ranks so low in overall health? There is no doubt that we need to make this country healthy again. But a country is only strong as it is healthy. In a report called Unhealthy and Unprepared, co-authored by a group of retired generals, it reports that 71% of those between the ages of 17 and 24 do not qualify for service under the military standards, with 31% being due to obesity alone. As a result, our Army fell short of its recruiting goal for the first time since 2005. And this report will be referenced in the show notes below for you to see yourself. So now even our military is advocating measures be taken to encourage a healthy lifestyle beginning at a young age. But the question still remains, can we make America healthy again? There's hope that we can, but there's no hope unless the following changes, I believe, are implemented. Number one, education, education, education. Our citizens must be educated about what contributes to good health. It is largely impacted by what we eat, drink, and how we take care of our bodies. Longevity and good health are mainly a product of our own choices. Michelle Obama adopted healthy eating as her mission when she was First Lady, and many scoffed at her with disdain, proclaiming, "How dare she tell us what to eat?" But what she promoted, called My Plate, was a big improvement over our previous old food pyramid. And then Dr. Joel Fuhrman came up with the nutritarian diet, which was an improvement over My Plate. We're eating nutrients, and it's important. My cancer journey caused me to do a deeper dive into diet, lifestyle, and how our food is being grown and processed. I am one of many people trying to educate others around the world about what it takes to be healthy and our part in it. That's why I have a blog. That's why I make informative videos on health, wellness, and cancer prevention on YouTube at Ginny Brant. I hope you will subscribe to these platforms. RFK Jr. is also one of those educating others and wants to do something about this. He has delved deeply into the research and is brilliant at connecting the dots. Our country has much to learn from him. Number two, reduce chemicals used in the growing and processing of food. I can remember a friend cautioning me about buying grapes from Mexico at the grocery store because they were heavily sprayed with many pesticides and chemicals. But they were 99 cents a pound and they were delicious, and I was on a budget. I did not see any evidence that these chemicals were in any way harming my body. Why, if these chemicals were harming my body, certainly I would have noticed. My body seemed to be handling these pesticides and chemicals just fine. Famous last words. Several years later, I was diagnosed with an aggressive and deadly cancer for which I had no risk factors or any genetics. As I researched further, An abundance of toxic chemicals were found in my body at high levels related to my cancer diagnosis. What a shock. If you research causes of different cancers today and other diseases, it's not uncommon to find a high toxic load, sometimes naming certain chemicals, as one of the possible causes on reputable websites such as the Mayo Clinic. RFK Jr. realizes the role of toxins on our health, and I'm sure he has a plan to address this. Number 3, reduce chemicals in skincare and personal care products. Europe has far more standards for what can be used in skincare products than we do here. I encourage you to start reading the labels of everything you put on your skin, and makeup and moisturizers and deodorants and sunscreens. Yowie. So many chemical names we can't even pronounce. Did you know it's estimated that 60 to 70% of what we put on our skin is absorbed right into our bloodstream and is circulated throughout our bodies? Do these chemicals matter? Yes, they do. Many chemicals, as I mentioned, were found in my body at high levels, and many of them were endocrine disrupting chemicals, or what we call xenoestrogens. And my oncologist and my gynecologist now believe these toxins or chemicals were one of the main reasons I got an aggressive cancer that I had no risk factors or genetics for. Something to think about. In the European Union, 1,400 chemicals have been banned from skin care products. Canada has banned 600. But in our country, only 11 have been banned. Needless to say, skincare products are not regulated in this country. As far as our skin is concerned, we live in the wild, wild west. You see, the main law overseeing the cosmetic industry was passed in 1938, and it's outdated, leaving companies on their own to include in their products whatever they want. Hear me loud and clear. This must change. And RFK Jr. knows this as well. And I know he has a plan. In my video on 6 ingredients you don't want in your skincare products and 6 things you must know about your skin will be referenced in the show notes below. So take a look. If we are to be healthy, we must reduce our toxic load from both food and skincare products. Number 4, revise the children's vaccine schedule. By the time I reached 18, I'd been given about 15 doses of vaccinations. These vaccinations had anywhere from 10 to up to 25 years of research behind them. Today, children are given far more vaccines than just 15 doses. Vaccines targeting 7 additional diseases were added to the vaccine schedule for children 6 and under in the years 1996 to 2023. The question is, what is the synergistic effect of all these vaccines? Are we giving too many, too quick, too soon? Unbiased research with no conflicting interest, and I said no conflicting interest, need to do a deeper dive into this because we need to know. Let me give you just a personal example. About age 42, I had to receive many vaccines before going on a mission trip to a third world country. Before this, my cholesterol levels were well below 200, and I had no health issues. Some of the vaccines I needed were so rare I had to go to a special health department in a larger city to get them. Earlier that year, I got hepatitis A and hepatitis B. Several doses are involved. The other 8 vaccines needed were all given at this health department on the same day, I remember asking the question, is it okay for me to get this many shots in one day? Now, keep in mind that there were some that were 2 or 3 vaccines in one shot, but they are 3 different vaccines in that shot. The nurse's response was simple. Oh, it's perfectly fine. We do it all the time. I didn't think any more about it. Over the next few weeks, I came home from work and literally collapsed on the sofa for hours every single day. This is not like me at all. I never even did this when taking chemotherapy at nearly 60 years old. I had my yearly physical just 2 weeks before I left for my mission trip, and my cholesterol had jumped up to 250. I never connected anything to the vaccines until after I arrived at the hospital in Yemen, in the Middle East. The doctors and nurses welcomed me, a trustee, with quite a spread of food. And my response was, I hope it's low cholesterol because now I've got a problem with it. Oh, don't worry, several of the doctors reported. It's all those vaccines you took to get here. 250 is nothing. Most of ours went to 350 to 400. It'll eventually go down. It's not a big deal. And this will shock you even more. Some 18 years later, after my cancer diagnosis, heavy levels of thimerosal, a form of mercury, and aluminum, both used in the vaccines, were found in my body at high levels. I now realize getting too many vaccines too quick, too soon, had an impact on my body. And getting all those vaccines in one day was not a good idea, not common sense. We need to find out if the same thing is affecting our children. There are some doctors who are recommending spreading out the shots, and for this exact reason. I'm not against vaccines, but we need to do more research to protect our most valuable asset, our children. And I'm sure RFK Jr. has a plan for this as well. Number 5, we absolutely must remove conflicts of interest in the regulating agencies of our country. We don't need our agencies such as the FDA and the Department of Agriculture being run by folks who go back and forth working for big pharma or big agriculture and our government agencies who regulate them. This must be stopped. Yes, you may not know it, but there's a revolving door between these agencies created to protect us and these industries who profit from the policies. This should not be. When my father worked for a senator and 3 presidents for so many years, he followed the required path that he would do nothing. It was an oath. Nothing to profit from his position. That is even required of public school teachers and state employees, meaning they cannot use their position for profit. In our day, this principle is being ignored, leading me to ask, will the real public servants please stand up if there are any left, especially in Washington, D.C. Hear me loud and clear. We must protect our agencies from those with conflicts of interest. And last but not least, we must take personal responsibility for our health. Our country, as I mentioned, has the highest cancer rates, even though we are blessed with the best of medical care. We have the highest obesity rates in this world. And obesity is in the top 4 risk factors for cancer, heart disease, dementia, and many diseases, along with smoking, drinking, and the sedentary lifestyle, meaning lack of exercise. All of these risk factors are within our control. There is no substitute for personal responsibility. And when our doctors try to encourage us to lose weight, stop smoking, moderate drinking, and keep moving, do we listen? Or do we say, how dare you suggest what I do with my personal life? If your doctor has taken the time to give you much needed advice, you need to listen. We need to listen and realize that most diseases are lifestyle related. And our doctors are trying to help us, and they sound like a broken record, and they feel like a broken record. Some people are not thrilled that RFK Jr. may make changes in our country's policies to protect our environment and our health. But as a cancer survivor who has delved into the research and discovered many of the same things that he talks about, I personally am thrilled. Can we make America healthy again? It depends on our willingness to take personal responsibility and our willingness to work across the aisle with those of different political party affiliations, such as RFK Jr. and Trump are doing. If we can do these two things, I do believe that we can make America healthy again, and hopefully one day export our healthy lifestyle to the world, because whether you realize it or not, we are always front and center stage to a world who is always watching what we do. I hope this video has inspired you today. I hope it has motivated you to take personal responsibility for your health. I hope it has calmed you and eased you to see that some changes may need to be made in our country for our benefit. I hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, share it, share it, share it. So many people need to realize what is going on and the important changes that need to be made in our country to protect us and to protect our most valuable asset, our children. Until next time, here's to your good health and all of us helping to make America healthy again. And may God bless.